Black magic, God, Holy Ghost, Lord, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Sword of pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it, and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip when I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim, they gon' need the cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will still Chamberlain.
Peace family, welcome to another episode, Underground Railroad Productions. This your host, Brother Rich, aka Black Magik. Back out here with Red Pill on 125th, man. Welcome back, my brother.
Yes, peace to the family.
I want everybody, before we start, make sure you support this channel on Patreon. Make sure we stay independent. Make sure we continue to expand. You can go to patreon.com/blackmagic363. Send a monthly pledge, $2, $5, or whatever. But we trying to get bigger and bigger. I see the potential. I see how much the people support, and I just want to continue to get bigger. I'm investing in things such as 4K cameras, stabilizers, and things of that nature. We got documentaries coming out in the future. So I'm happy, but I need your support. Make sure you show some love, family. On that note, I want to start the show. Red Pill, we talked before about the blaxploitation era. Yeah. We talked about what the hell happened, how we go from afros to perms to one to be on the corporate office, and you know, be just one to integrate till we lose. You can integrate, but how we lose our own identity through integration. We can all come together. I see the Africans come to America, they still African.
Yeah.
I see the Indians come to America, they still Indian.
Fact.
I see a lot of people come here and they still who they are. For some reason, when we went to integration route, we lost who we were. So I'm looking at the SuperFly movie and I'm analyzing what people are saying about that's the beginning of when we lost our identity. I'm like, through pimping? Talk to me about the SuperFly movie, the whole pimping thing, the comb, my man Malcolm X, Detroit Red. Talk to the family, Red. What can we expect with this SuperFly genre?
Well, if it's what we got with the first SuperFly, right? If the results are anything like what we got when they introduced us to the first SuperFly, then our people are definitely in for more problems. Because as a race and as a people, you know what I mean, who are subjected to some of the most, heinous and some of the most unjust laws on the land, you know what I mean, some of the things that prison reform and all of this other quote-unquote justice crusades are behind, well, it's only going to increase if the movie SuperFly does what the original did. Now, for people who are not familiar of the impact of the original SuperFly movie, I'm going to break it down real quick for you like this, okay? Prior to the SuperFly movie, one of the main drugs that were on the street were heroin, all right? Heroin ravaged what is known as Black Harlem. Black Harlem was so pristine and so clean and so upright that you could eat off of the ground at one point. If you don't believe me, go back into the old Garvey pictures and look at the light that our people had in their eyes. Look at the way that they were dressed. Look at the decor. There are a series of pictures of sisters with full minks on, all kind of furs and things of that nature, chilling next to cars, which would be considered a foreign on today's standards, okay?
Right.
This was in Harlem. This was not slavery. This was not our people scratching and wearing burlap and sniffing. You know what I mean? This was us not in poverty. We were not in a poverty state, both mental, spiritually, definitely, economically, when we had our communities functioning in a place where the money was circulating and when there was a healthy relationship between the men, the women, and the children. We operated in a sense of what is known as black excellence. You know what I'm talking about? Hashtag black excellence. When the scourge or the scar or the curse of the deaf culture or the drug culture is not basically permeating, you know what I mean? Or it's basically not, you know, running the culture, right? Like we see down when heroin was introduced to the black community, years later, we begin to see the scourge take place. Then that developed into what we saw as genocide. And then that trickled into the Holocaust of what we know as multiple generations of black Americans, indigenous Americans, whatever you want to call them. We begin to see the curse begin to claim more lives as it got worse, right? So everything is about moderation. I'm never going to go on film to say that in our communities we didn't have our people, quote unquote, you know, using drugs as exhibition or utilizing drugs for, you know, recreational purposes. I'm sure pharmacopoeia has always been with us, but it goes back to moderation. It was in moderation, and it wasn't necessarily tied into PTSD, and it wasn't necessarily tied into what people were receiving after watching The Roots. Triggers, meaning that you're utilizing pharmacopoeia, you're utilizing alcohol as an escape mechanism, okay? When we were utilizing sacraments and things of that nature, it wasn't for that purpose. The context was different. We were more so using it as ceremonial aspects, also to heal as well. You dig what I'm saying? But when we began to take these drugs as a result of Jim Crow, as a result of, you know what I'm saying, the lynchings that were taking place, the same thing that we're seeing these days when the children are doing what? They're turning to pharmacopoeia, they're turning to escapism, they're turning into gateway drugs more so today because of the psyops, because they have triggers, because their PTSD is being triggered by what? Bum fights, pornography, niggas getting knocked out. You know what I'm talking about? World Star. You know what I mean? The lynchings that are going on. So after all of that is taking place, they run in to do what? Get the drugs. In the 80s with the epidemic of the quote unquote crack epidemic, right? When people began to do what? Take the crack to do what? Escape. Calgon, take me away, right? That was a result of what? People had PTSD from poverty. Niggas trying to get away from them roaches, all right? The aspect of poverty and the allure of cocaine as a party drug that was trumped up by SuperFly. That was even trumped up even more by Scarface, because SuperFly made a lot of brothers want to get into pimping and drug dealing, but Scarface was another coming of age story that came later on down the line that helped solidify that as well. You wanted to be a big Willie. You wanted to get the white girl. You started snorting the white girl. You dig what I'm saying? Once again, the white girl comes into the picture to destroy black America. Okay, all over again. Back in the days, if you wink at her, you could get hung. Now, if you sell a bag of her, you could get hung. All right? Because the time that they're giving these young brothers out here and these sisters, it's a modern day lynching. And they're becoming legal slaves. So back in the days, with the law that they put on the books, both for Jack Johnson's case and even before that, if you get caught with a white girl, you could become a slave. You could get hung. You could get lynched. So SuperFly was a coming of age kind of movie. My father told me that they went into the movie theater with afros and came out with perms.
Your father told you that?
My father told me that.
Wow.
Inside of the underworld or the underpinnings of black America, we've always had drug dealing, racketeering, numbers, prostitution, murders, strong arm, extortion, all of these activities. But what a movie like Scarface does, what a movie like Boys in the Hood does, what a movie like Menace to Society does, what a movie like Superfly does, is it takes people who have positions and roles in life and it appoints everybody that. So now everybody's trying to carry out a role that's designated for a selected few. Because in certain societies, you have individuals that were born for this shit. Okay? This is what they were born into based off of the spirits that are controlling them, or the spirits that are their crowns. They may have an Ogun energy. They may have a Shango energy. They may have an Ampu-like energy. They may have a dark energy. And it placed them on their throne in this. They may have an Osarian energy. And they may have a Setian energy. It puts them on this underworld throne. They're comfortable in that world. They're able to function. A Baron Samadhi, you know what I mean? A Baron Samadhi, what's my dude? Baron Samdi energy. You understand? So, but when everybody gets suggested that this is how they should be living their lives, or this is the way crime pays, or dark, you know what I mean, black magic matters and whatnot, and everybody tries to play that role, then we have all of these murals in our cities. Then we have all of these mothers crying about, oh, this wasn't like my baby and what, yeah, because that wasn't his path. And he got removed from that path by certain energies and powers that be, because he was not living out his true purpose. So now everybody want to be a pimp. Now all our sisters want to turn their yoni into an ATM. You understand? Now everybody wants to pander to the white dollar because you go into Zaddy because you know that he pays a premium for anal, oral, vaginal, defecation, tying you up on some 40 shades, anything. Remember, there's a price to everything, right? The porn star said it on This Is 50 the other day. I was watching an interview. She said there's a price for everything. Everything's for sale. And that's the mentality that we find ourselves in, not in the old days of Superfly. God damn it, it's back. So because we live in a revolutionary cycle, meaning that time is centrifugal, meaning that it goes in cycles, everything has come back. So am I alarmed at Superfly? No, we're living in a cycle, my niggas. Everything is back. This whole LBGT thing that you're seeing, it already was here in the 60s with the quote unquote flower movement. Wait. With the tie-dye movement, it was already here. They called it the New Left. They called it the New Left. That pride movement, it was already here in Woodstock. It was here in the 60s when they was on LSD and whatnot. The heroin, shooting the hair, it's back. The weed being legalized and it's back. The pill popping, niggas is on uppers and downers, is back. The coke sniffing is back. Black women on 40 deuce, the Instagram is 40 deuce, it's back. But not only is it back, it's back on steroids. It's back on steroids. The lynchers are back. Jim Crow is back. Everything is back. The Guards are back. The Panthers is back. There's some niggas walking around calling them Young Malcolm. Well, goddamn it, Malcolm is back. So the ancestors have returned to do the work a second time around. Right? The way that the world, the way that the earth, the plane is spinning or the world is turning, it's introducing all of these different concepts. It might have something to do with the precession of the equinox and the fact that certain kind of constellations and star systems are back based off of the cycle. So you running into certain people from 20 years ago. Why? Because the cycle, that's all I'm seeing. These niggas from my childhood. I'm asking myself in private, is it my time? Huh? Is it my time? Because if you meeting people from, y'all went to kindergarten together, well, goddamn it, maybe you going back into this cycle where your ass might be out of here in this few years.
But, Red, I want to ask you, in terms of the Superfly movie, is this something, because it makes me think of that question over and over again.
Yeah.
Because you hear the word entertainment.
Yeah.
Do we blame the entertainer? Because Charles Barkley always said, I ain't no damn role model. Your mother, your father's a role model. So do we blame the entertainer for what the parents aren't doing? Should they be responsible for what the genre is called entertainment, but now you're telling them that they're more than just an entertainer? So do we actually blame them for something that everybody's supposed to know is just a movie in the first place? Red Pill?
See, the realization that we have to collectively come to, and it can't be one thing and not another. If it is, then it is. We live in a day and time in this quote-unquote culture of what is known as hip-hop, where life has imitated art, and art is imitating life vicariously. So entertainment is life, all right? Entertainment has a diverse effect on real life. And like I said earlier, when the brother Oba broke down the fact that this world that we live in is a marketplace. He said according to his elders in the Palo Mayombe African traditional system, they said that the world is a marketplace. So when you identify the fact that the world is a marketplace, meaning that every day that you get up, you're selling yourself or selling something to somebody or something is being sold to you, then you have to begin to factor in marketing.
Brother, people sell me perceptions every day.
That's right, because the world is a marketplace.
Yeah.
But guess what? Guess what happens? If you buy it, then you own it.
It becomes your reality.
Becomes your reality. So if an artist is selling you the perception of something, artists understand that they're in a marketplace. When they sign up to be in the business of the music industry, okay, they know that they're selling you something. They are marketing and promoting an idea to you. They are marketing and promoting a persona, a character, an idea, right? And a lifestyle to you at the same damn time. And they cannot escape, they can't excuse themselves, they can't necessarily remove themselves from that fact. So, with knowing all of that, if I had a goal in life to uplift my people and to better my people and to empower my people and to prepare my people for a time that might not necessarily exist at the moment, peace God, but brother said G from Ultramagnetic, but if I'm a governor, if I'm God, right, if I'm the grand architect, then that's what I'm gonna sell you and market you. Why not sell you a reality that doesn't exist? It even makes it even better when it comes into fruition, because now you can make claim to it because it didn't exist prior to the work that you put in. Facts. So this is a holographic universe that we live in. All is mental. So all of these artists that do what? You have a skill set, you have a talent, you have a gift. Maybe that brother that's playing the movie of SuperFly, he may be a very talented actor. So, I haven't necessarily seen the movie, I've only seen the trailer. I don't know the moral of the story. I don't know if he's utilizing this movie. I don't know if the director or whoever wrote the movie is utilizing all of the glitz and the glamour, the perms and the foreign cars. You know, I'm talking about the cocaine and the women with the long weaves and the nice buns to help tell a story or help, you know, give our people a moral story. I don't know, because all I saw was the trailer. But the way that it's being marketed to us is that it's embellishing a lifestyle. It's giving a gloss. It's shellacking some shit that's putting our people in graves and inside of jail cells and inside of courtrooms by the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. So why would I push that? Why would I co-sign that? Why would I think that you need to rehash a story like that? Because even if he dies in the end, our children are impressionable. They don't see everything. They spit the bones out of shit. They only looking at the fatties. They only looking at the glitz and the glamour. They want the fame and the fortune. And that's what we have to realize, that in this world, life is a lesson, Rich. If I'm endowed with the talent and the skill, right? I'm going to utilize those talents and the skills to teach the lesson of life. especially at my age, I don't have time to play around. So why aren't these artists utilizing their artistry to make the world a better place? They're making their pockets better. They're enriching some Jews at their label. You know what I'm talking about? They're enriching stockholders and shareholders who would call the police on them if they were in Starbucks hanging out. So this world is a marketplace. Treat it as such. So stop marketing death. Stop marketing genocide. Stop marketing us at our lowest self. Stop marketing stereotypes. What about the God energy? What about that frequency? What about the victorious, you know what I'm talking about, African traditional systems? So
Red.
What about Wakanda? I'm sorry.
This last question, I remember the question I wanted to ask you from the last segment.
Yes.
But it all ties in together, so I could ask you with this segment as well.
All right, awesome.
But, you know, with what you're saying about, if this world is a marketplace, and you know, I guess everybody's trying to market themselves for that currency. Let's say currency. Whatever form it may come in, everybody wants a particular form of currency.
Yes.
Why do we continue to see people who have this currency kill themselves? Let's just think of recent examples.
Yeah.
Kate Spade, the designer.
Yeah.
The dude, Michael, what's his name? Anthony Bourdain. Bourdain.
Yeah.
And we could go down the list throughout the years, and we'll see it over and over again.
Yes.
Where this world is a marketplace. We all want this currency.
Yes.
Whatever language or country we come from. But when we get it, we find out it's not all what it's cracked up to be at the end of the day. So you know what happens? That makes us more depressed. And motherfuckers who got $1 million will kill themselves faster than a motherfucker on welfare who got 5 kids to feed.
In a shanty town.
And logically, we can't comprehend why the billionaire will kill himself and a black woman living in the Harlem projects with 5 kids and no father to help her won't. It doesn't make sense to our logic. We think money is the answer to everything. Close it out, Red. Talk to me about that dynamic that goes on in society.
Well, always keep in mind currency. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the concept of currency applies on all levels. So if you have too much current in an electrical current, you can do what? You can electrocute yourself. But if the current is in moderation, well, goddamn it, you can light up the night. You understand? So some people could get into the money game so much that you're receiving so much currency that it can electrocute you. Case in point, you could be in too deep in the drug game, my niggas, and the fact that you are dealing with so many pots, so much money, so much currency coming at you, every single day your life is on the line. It's almost like you're playing with electricity, a live wire. It's almost like you're playing with a live current, because if you mess up around the plug, you know plug walk, you know what I'm talking about? He could take your life right away. You could be in these high risks environments in Wall Street where drug usage, anxiety, depression, and all of these things are at an all-time high because you're dealing with more money, more problems. You playing with all of these billions and whatnot, and then they might have a day where it crashes and you watch $50 billion get evaporated in seconds. And what do? You increase your pharmacopoeia usage. You increase your quote unquote, because you're in so much pain, you increase your opiate usage and dosage, and you overdose on the fentanyl, right? Suicide rates amongst Europeans are at an all-time high. By doing that, it dispels the quote-unquote rumor that money solves all problems, because it does not. It has nothing to do with that. Guess what? Peace is the new success. How about that? Peace or inner peace is the new success. So now, if I could get my ones coming in, right? If I could get my income stream flowing, right? And I'm not punching into the clock, and I'm not going into corporate America where I'm compromising myself for those billions of dollars that certain people have. Nobody wants to have the conversation about what did they do to get some of these billions of dollars. How can everybody sleep comfortable at night with those millions of dollars that they acquired? Who did they hurt to get that money sometimes, right? Because remember, there's a price for everything. Everything comes with a price. So people, especially in this society or this capitalistic society, they've been trained through entertainment, through the demoralization in entertainment, to do anything that it takes for the dollar, right? But what good is a man who inherited the world if you have no soul, right? So they didn't tell you that your manhood is priceless. Sisters, they didn't tell you that your womanhood or your you know what I mean? They didn't tell you that your body was sacred. They don't tell you that that's wealth. They don't tell you that that's priceless. They don't add value to that. So people are running around trying to get the bag, and those who are holding the bag know that there's something more priceless around them than the bag. And their proposition, that which is priceless, which is your soul. If you get donkey fucked by a white man, brothers, right? A 50-year-old white man, he owns you. What are you talking about? You're in a jar, my nigga. He got your niggas is like, oh, I didn't sell my soul. If you touch your toes, you sold your soul. Facts. What are you talking about? You don't realize that men do everything in their powers to do what? To maintain their value. And where's your value? It's in your manhood. Facts. So, and in the sisters, according to societies, they operate at high levels, which are known as high societies, right? There's a big reiteration on the woman doing what? Respecting her temple, right? So she could give birth to gods and goddesses, right? Keeping a what? A peace of mind. That's why we will put you in opulence. That's why we will put you in baths houses. That's why we will rub your feet. That's why we will put you amongst aromatherapy. That's why you were draped in the finest of clothes. That's why we will go to war for you. That's why you were draped in gold and all of the finest gemstones and whatnot, because it was about putting you in a certain peace of mind, because you create reality and you create high society and you create the highest of reality when you're in your proper place. When man surrenders to you, when you're being held on a certain pedestal and you're being nurtured and and you're being nourished, you do what? You create nourishing things. But when 20 niggas is running a train on you inside of Hollywood and you're eating out of a dog bowl and whatnot, and your yoni is for sale on Facebook, you're only gonna create hell. You're only gonna create hell. And when you got a robotic dick fucking you know about that? We ain't gonna get into that. But yeah, you're gonna create all kind of maladies, and you know what I mean? The realities that are gonna come about that is gonna be the reality that we live in right now, the bizarro world, the upside down world. Because what happened, there was a period in time where our people got compromised. And the industry played a big part of that. And it has everything to do with our bodies. It has everything to do with our temples. It has everything to do with the fact that we compromise ourselves. What is the most sacred of ourselves? Our sexual energy, our sexual nature, okay? The fact that we were heterosexual a few days ago. Once we compromise that aspect of self, the recreational aspect of self, the sacred aspect of self, the sacred part of self, that's when the curses began. The abortions, that's when all of this stuff trumped up. So it's not about man don't make the money and money don't make the man. If you think acquiring funds and currency is going to solve any kind of problems about who you are when you look in the mirror, if you love yourself, you're wrong. So some of these people have material wealth, but they're spiritually bankrupt. Huh? Russell Simmons had to do yoga to get out of Me Too. He had all the money in the world, but he needed inner peace, because inner peace is the new success. I could sleep at night. When the phone ring, my heart don't go crazy, because I don't think it's another setup. Yo, come through. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Come through and don't bring nobody. Leave your phone in the house. We gotta talk. Damn. All of that for this money? All of that to be the man? You know what I'm saying? Yo, come through. I got 6 men want to meet you right now. They willing to pay top dollars. Damn, boo. Damn, Zaddy, it's 3 in the morning. Look, bitch, come through. Fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? We ready. All right, give me a minute. Let me get cleaned up. That's the life you want to live? For paper? For fiat? Shit not even backed by gold. You don't even get silver pieces of coin no more. Like, really? So, a lot of these people are living with demons. Having money has nothing to do with your diet. They're eating a lot of bad foods. Anthony Bourdain went around the world eating monkey brains, octopuses, and pig nuts. What kind of parasites did he have in his gut that was telling him to kill himself? Remember, the stuff that you eat, those parasites, they run the show. The movie with Eddie Murphy, Dave and whatnot. Inside Out. They're steering your spaceship. They're running the show. They're sending out impulses. This nigga was eating out. You can't run around the world. He wasn't eating like KT. He wasn't foraging. He wasn't giving you the leaves that make electricity. So, people's diets. Some people are sociopaths. Europeans are leading in mortality, suicide, fratricide, infanticide. They're leading the race, but they're marketing and promoting your Black Death, and you're buying into it, and you're accepting it, and you're swiping for it. So you're gonna suffer until you get wiser. That's how this shit is going down. You're being marketed your demise, and you're buying it while their shit is falling apart by the hour. You understand? And you're focusing on your demise, so you're enhancing it, and you're becoming broker, and you're becoming poorer, and you're becoming more lack-worthy. They're drinking your tears, they're feeding off of your ignorance, they're feeding off of your fear, they're feeding off of all of that, and they're becoming more fiat financially wealthy, but they're losing their souls in the long run. They're losing their spirit in the long run. You're becoming more enlightened. Your spiritual bank account is becoming on fleek because you're beginning to know who you are. Man, know thyself. You're beginning to cure yourself of generational curses based off of the slavery, chattel slavery, and other wars that you lost. Because they talk about chattel slavery, what about the Inquisition? What about the Conquista, the Reconquista? What about all of that? What about the Crusades? Not slaves, you niggas was being put on stakes. They were putting they were piking your head on stakes for miles. What about the auto de phase? They were burning you on crosses for miles beyond the eyes can see. So, salute to everybody that's working on themselves. When you work on yourself, because like I said earlier, I got too many enemies to commit suicide. You niggas are coming with me. Are you serious? Are you serious? How selfish am I? No, you're gonna take a trip with me. I'm not leaving you behind. So no, you know what I mean? EL_Filthmore, Twitter and Instagram. Phil T. Marlin on YouTube. Go and subscribe. Melanin Mondays every Monday. And check me out on Patreon /Red Pillar, PILLIR. And once again, make sure you get one of the hottest albums of the year. I played all of the new releases, okay? One of the hottest albums of the year. Go and get that Holy Ghost. You came out this year, right? December last year. Go get that Cambatta and go get that Holy Ghost and go get that twin double album, hottest album of the year. Facts. Give me some names of some hotter ones, okay?
Say Pusha T's album.
Yeah, hotter than Pusha T. This is Body in Daytona. Yeah, I got bars too, Pusha. You can play with it if you want. Pusha Thanos. 1.
Black magic, God, Holy Ghost, Lord, orgasmic, order more acid, more than 4 tablets, portal door passage, born before mortal war happened. We were lords way before we were poor black men. Now we like Catherine, only having 4 Jacksons. Sword of pure magic, slaughter 4 dragons. Heat like corduroy fabric, door-to-door tactics. Easy like tortoise on boarded floor backspins. Rapping like the man that created it. and I just play with it. Shine radiant, raising it, sunbathing it. Voice tone sharper than razor tip. When I aim it at megaliths, make them raise and lift. You can't relate to this, even if you paint a pic of me and you and somehow make the faces switch. I like to babysit, throne made of baby skin, donated by natives that procreate in sin. They gon' need to raise the rim. They gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain. Put the globe on my middle finger and made it spin. They gon' need to raise the rim. They gon' need a cage in that gymnasium. I play to win, Will Still Chamberlain.